The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is such a special game to me. I had to treat this remake with something special. So from now, leading up until the release of the remake, I will be playing every song from the entire game on my keyboard. Now, I'm not a professional keyboard player or anything like that. I'm pretty good at the piano, but it takes me a little bit to pick up and learn. But I'm gonna try to play every single song, so please forgive me if I mess up some notes or something. But to start off this long journey until this game comes out, we gotta figure out when this is actually going to end. So that's exactly what we're talking about today. What's next for the Ocarina of Time remake, and when is Nintendo gonna give us the goods? So I can't promise I'll have a new song every day or every week, but we will have every song completed on the keyboard by the time this game comes out. I'm just gonna have to kind of stretch it out until I see when this release date is. But if you love that idea and love listening to the music, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to let me know, because we are super close to 400k. We gotta hit 400k before this game comes out, so you guys can make that happen today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's dive into what's next. Look, I think that we can all agree at the fact that it's no secret Nintendo is one of the weirdest companies ever. Nintendo showcased a good handful of games that aren't coming until next year, including a big Xenoblade 4, as Xenoblade Genesis doesn't release until sometime of 2027, and they gave us a pretty good extensive look at that game. And yet, we hardly got anything for The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time's remake. Just some tapestry and also Link laying in the bed. Yes, you guys corrected me. It's not tapestry, it's tapestry. I'm sorry. But with this game coming out this year, it was slated for 2026 and it's already June. Shouldn't we have had more gameplay and also a release date? Something, especially since this is Nintendo's big holiday game this year? Well, I think they did all of this on purpose. Clearly, this is a very important game for Nintendo, and they didn't want to give us too much information just at the end of a general Nintendo Direct, which leads me to believe that they're going to host their own separate Direct for this thing, or maybe a separate Direct for the anniversary in general. Now, I would say Nintendo's holiday season isn't anything super spectacular this year. It comes down between 3 games: Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, which is September's big game, Switch Sports Resort and the Kingdom Hearts games as the big October coverage, and then obviously Ocarina of Time's remake, which we have to narrow down. Now that leaves us with 2 possible months, and December is normally not a month Nintendo uses because it's too deep into the holiday season and they don't really get the climax of their sales with that month. The only time I can remember them having a major game in December was with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in 2017, and also Metroid Prime 4 last year. And we thankfully already have a couple small things listed for that month anyways. Now that comes down between August and November, and there's a pretty obvious month on this list. I think August is a little too early before the holiday season, and plus, I feel like Nintendo needs a breather after their heavy summer lineup. But there's one incredibly open, empty month for the end of the year, and that's November. And in fact, no one's releasing games in November. Don't believe me? Take a look at your November games. Yep, everyone in the entire business is scared of GTA 6. So yeah, there's one company that looks like they're gonna have to go up against them. If I'm guessing, it's gonna be Nintendo, and it's gonna be with Ocarina of Time. Now let's not be stupid and act like GTA 6 is not gonna be the biggest game of the year by far. Like, it's probably gonna blow Nintendo and everybody else out of the water. But still, if Nintendo has any chance at least trying to compete with it, it's with this game. Ocarina of Time is one of the greatest games, critically acclaimed, most beloved video game of all time. So I don't think Nintendo is super worried about it. But at the same time, I don't see them also slapping Ocarina of Time in the same week as GTA 6. In fact, I could 100% see Nintendo going with one of these 2 dates, November 5th or November 12th. Sorry, Barbie. Now, something else that's kind of strange is, don't you think it's weird that Nintendo had a 50-minute showcase and they didn't have any talk about Zelda's anniversary and it's June? This is normally the time they actually do this. They always talk about Zelda's anniversary in the summertime. I mean, for a 40th anniversary, I kind of expected a lot more. And if you look at the dates, back in E3 of 2021, which was back in June, Nintendo had a big Zelda anniversary segment at the end of the show. Now, they gave us new information on Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, like new DLC coming to the game. They gave us a remastered version of Skyward Sword for the Switch, my favorite Zelda game. They gave us a Zelda Game & Watch that had tons of classic games on it, and one of our first looks at The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This was all for the 35th anniversary, so isn't it kind of strange that the only thing we've gotten so far for Zelda's 40th anniversary, the bigger one, was literally just a 5-second snippet of young Link sleeping on a bed from Ocarina of Time? I mean, we haven't even gotten to see our boy Aonuma yet, so yes, I do think there's a separate presentation on the way. I mean, there kind of has to be. Why in the world would they only show us that little and just not give us anything for a game that's coming out this year? So I do think a 40th anniversary direct is coming, or at the very least, I think we're getting a Zelda Ocarina of Time direct. And I kind of wish they just announced this thing at the end of the show, like, hey, look forward to a Zelda-specific direct coming in the next month or so. But the question is, when can we expect this inevitable direct? Well, I think June is definitely way too busy. I don't think there's anything else this month. And I think July is also very busy. You've got some major releases like Splatoon Raiders and even Rhythm Heaven Groove in the same month. But August is completely empty. There's no big or small games really happening in that month at all right now. And if Nintendo doesn't have any major releases for August, odds are they could just use this month for a direct and maybe even have a shadow drop if they decide to bring like Twilight Princess to the GameCube NSO or something. That gives Nintendo around 2.5 to 3 months to advertise the game after that direct, which I think is perfect. Plus we know the next month after that in September is going to be the general Nintendo Direct. Well, maybe. We don't actually know anymore. Nintendo's weird. Or Nintendo could just say, screw you guys, you're gonna wait until September until we announce anything about Zelda Ocarina of Time, which would suck, but, you know, they definitely could. But I'm believing this game is going to be ultra ambitious. Like, everything that I've seen so far, which isn't a lot, it looks like they're trying to push for something more ambitious than we've ever gotten. And in fact, if you think about it, this is going to be the first full, actually tried remake Nintendo's ever made for Zelda. Yes, you got the 3D games of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, but they're more just like visually enhanced graphic games, where the game still stays primarily the same and the graphics just look a lot better. This new one looks like it could be trying for something really special that we've never seen before, and I'm so excited to see what Nintendo and Aonuma and his Zelda team has been cooking, or whoever's working on this game, because we also have no clue who's working on this game. But if you're excited for the Ocarina of Time remake, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Zelda and Nintendo in general, because we're going to be talking about this game probably for the rest of this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one. See ya, guys.